Hey guys, it's EnterElysium. Now, I'll make this quick. This video is about the Xbox One and regards to a bit of EU legislation which I think is actually kind of important and no one else has reported on. Now, a lot of you might have been put off by the title saying, oh, legalities, laws and stuff, they're boring. Like, I'll make it as simple as possible, and frankly, it seems pretty simple. I've known about this for a little while, and I wasn't going to do a video on it because I think, there's a lot of coverage on the Xbox One already, and you don't need sort of another video adding to the bunch, and, Xbox haven't really released a statement on it. However, recently, Angry Joe did an interview with Major Nelson from Microsoft about the Xbox One, and he actually mentioned to him this point. And I've got the clip here. Now, it comes under fair usage to use this clip. I really advise you to go watch the video on Angry Joe's channel. So just watch this clip, and then I'll explain what the big deal is, because this is kind of a big thing. So yeah, here we go.
We certainly want to give Xbox One to as many people as want them, but there's a lot of things we have to do first to make sure that we're in local compliance with the laws, we have the right gaming
which in the the European Union, they actually have a law that says that publishers cannot dictate to you that you cannot resell your game. How do you get around that?
I'm not familiar with the law, so
you're not familiar with it? I was just told that. I don't know for certain on that. Somebody told me that. So
you're a lawyer?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
I don't think we should be talking about that.
Okay, all right, fine. We'll move on.
They are doing a rolled out release, like many of you probably know, they're getting a lot of flack for it, so they are releasing in several EU countries, and these countries are bound under EU law. And the thing that Angry Joe just mentioned there, that is actually from a case ruling last year in June. No, July? I've got the document right here in front of me. There we go, 3rd of July last year. So it's been around for a while. Now, it's really, really simple, actually. Okay, basically, this is a preliminary ruling. Now, that might imply, it's an early thing, or it doesn't matter. Actually, it's kind of really, really important. What happens is a judge somewhere in a court in a country goes, I'm not sure how this applies to EU law. So he sends off and asks the European Court of Justice to make a preliminary ruling. They come back and say, this is how it applies in EU law. And this, what they say, is binding, not only to the case, but to all member states from then on. Okay? I'll put all my sources and my references, because I'm not a lawyer, but this is really spelled out on their website that this is a binding thing. And this preliminary ruling basically says, and this is a press release, the title from the very press release, last year, an author of software cannot oppose the resale of his used licenses allowing the use of his programs downloaded from the internet. The exclusive right of distribution of a copy of a computer program covered by such license is exhausted on its first sale. What it's saying is, whoever sells you a copy of a computer program cannot then say, you shouldn't use it like this. You can't sell it on. He exhausts his ability to control how you use it once he sells it, because you will then own it. And Microsoft, as we all well know from all the crazy PR crap that's been going on, aren't doing resale of games unless it's sort of a trading thing through them in some regard. They haven't been incredibly specific on how that works. But they're saying you cannot sell a game on. Now, I'll just read you some more of this because, as Major Nelson says they're checking they're in compliance with local laws, etc., blah, blah, blah. That's why they're doing the release to roll out, and it's being slow. I don't know if I believe that. But they are releasing in the EU. They've checked they're in compliance with laws, is what he's just implied. And they've decided to ignore this bit of EU case law, which is binding to all member states, and build an infrastructure that seems to be in contravention to legislation. The principle of exhaustion of the distribution right applies not only where the copyright holder markets copies of the software on a material medium, CD, ROM or DVD, but also where he distributes them by means of download from his website. Basically, you own it if you download it. You don't not own it because you didn't get it from a physical copy, you didn't get a CD or something. You still own it if you download it. Okay? And that's where they're going with the whole, we're going to go really digital. I mean, you'll still be able to get it on DVD and stuff, but we're really concentrating on digital. It doesn't mean you can't resell it because you got it digitally. No, this thing, seriously, legislation here, press release, spells it right out. The language is a little bit more complex than a few of you may be used to, but it's really, really simple. I'll put the link in the description. Go look at it yourselves. This... Like, they've had a lot of PR fuck-ups, and I do not agree with a lot of the stuff they're doing. But they're doing something that is downright against this legislation that the EU have brought out, which is binding to all member states. Now, yes, it does apply to Steam and so on, and it applies to all the other stores that all the people like Origin store and stuff, but the thing is they already exist, and they're for a medium which has had that around for a while, and this ruling was originally against Steam. That's what was brought up. So you can accept that they're moving slow on it because, they've already got the infrastructure in place. But the problem is Microsoft are building this infrastructure to work for the Xbox One from scratch, and yet they've apparently decided to ignore this entire thing. They're ignoring consumer rights that are laid down in binding EU laws. Like, right here. License agreement granting the customer the right to use that copy for an unlimited period, so basically unlimited rental agreement. That right holder sells the copy to the customer and exhausts his exclusive distribution right. Therefore, even if the license agreement prohibits a further transfer, the right holder can no longer oppose the resale of that copy. Basically, if it says in the terms of service when you buy something, you cannot resell it, that is against consumer rights, and you are still allowed to resell it. That is right here, spelled out, that is black and white. Seriously, right in front of me on this document. I'm going to put it in the description, go have a look at it, and make your own decision. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just an average Joe gamer, and I happen to have just spent yesterday checking on EU case law, and this is a binding ruling. I don't see how Microsoft can think that they can just ignore binding legislation in their second biggest market. They've been accused of being anti-consumer plenty of times. And while, we may believe one way or the other, most of it is opinion, and you can be pretty sure that it's anti-consumer, or you can be pretty this way. But by contravening laws which are there to defend consumer rights, you can specifically say that is anti-consumer, full stop. Like, if anyone watching happens to be a lawyer who's a gamer, I'm sure such people exist. I'm sure quite a few of them exist, but I don't know if they watched it on my channel or will watch this video. Please chime in with your response, because I'd like to know this from an actual professional in the area. Because it seems very obvious that this is fucked up. Right. Anyway, I wasn't going to try and touch the Xbox One, because I think Angry Joe has covered it in a lot of detail, and plenty of kudos to him for asking those questions. In that interview, he was basically cut off, pushed around, given a load of bullshit answers, but he asked some hard questions that he was pretty much pressured not to ask. So thank you very much for getting them to actually give you a bullshit answer about that, Angry Joe, because I probably wouldn't have bothered with this video, except for the fact they then bullshitted a legit question, which, even I know about, and I'm not a lawyer. So kudos to Angry Joe. And frankly, I've had an Xbox shortly after the release of the Xbox 360. I got an Xbox 360. I'm now on my 5th, because all of the other ones, 3-red ringed. I stuck with it. I got a new one, I even bought a new one at one stage. The other ones were in the return period. I think the 4th one was out of return period, so I got another one. I actually bought it with my own cash. And I've been a massive Xbox 360 fan. I much preferred it to the PS3, and I prefer the controllers, they feel nicer. And just, I am not biased towards Sony in any point of view, but this... Right. Make your own decisions, guys. Please check out the links, because I'd like you to actually see this stuff in black and white for yourself. It's not incredibly difficult to read, and not pages and pages of it. The press release is 2 pages long, not small font, and it's got the big bits that I've pretty much read out in bold. Seriously. I can't believe Microsoft, they can't have missed this. This is case law from less than a year ago, which was pretty big, and there was an article on Rock Paper Shotgun at the time about it. So... Anyway, if you've at all found this helpful or enlightening, or, you're just as annoyed as me, please like and comment and stuff. And, if you like any of the other stuff on my channel, subscribe. I haven't really covered the Xbox One in detail because, there's plenty of other people doing that, and they're a lot more knowledgeable on the subject than me and so on. They've been to E3, which I haven't. But yeah, if you found this useful, like it, I'm just going to go and be incredibly depressed about this whole entire thing because... Right. I've been EnterElysium, and thank you for watching.